So back to our main topic. Sorry about that. Back to
Yeah.
really. I heard what you're saying. You're saying that you're happy that that Adobe killed Flash Player for mobile.
Well, I don't know about happy. I don't know about happy, but it's definitely simplified things for us.
Yeah, but like it made life really complicated for a lot of. I know, just like Sony. I think it was Sony just came out. I think Adam sent us a link earlier today. That's, if I find that link, that Sony is basically asking from Adobe to continue support for Flash because they really believe that that's one of the things that gives Sony an edge on their phones, that they have Flash on their browser and they could see the full web. And I personally I personally really feel like that this is a really sad day for the internet in general, where obviously it's great that there's applications that we have to pay for, or we have to go through a store that tells us if we could have an application or not. It's great for us as developers because we could make more money out of it. But I think it's sad for the web, which was really all about openness. And today, even though Flash is not an open standard, but you have the choice to have Flash on your browser or not. And it seems like that these days, that choice is being taken away from us, where it seems like they don't even want us to use the browser on a mobile device anymore. It seems like you have to have an application to actually experience the web. At least that's how I feel, and I'm sure that there's a lot of other feelings about it.
I think it's definitely a business model. Apps generate money, and anything that generates money is going to be pushed as the way forward.
Right.
The question is, does it does it generate any money for the people actually doing the work? Well, presumably in the end it'll filter down. Or whether this is actually a good thing for the internet as a whole is a completely different question, really.
Yeah, from any of the speakers here, has anyone actually built an application on your own without any corporate sponsorship and actually make money out of it? Anything that goes
I
to
have
the
not.
store? I haven't met anyone yet. I'm sure there's like 4 or 5 people that actually make money from building applications on their own without a corporate sponsorship. But as a developer, we make a lot of money per hour, and building an application takes a lot of hours. You make a lot more money just by going to a corporate company that wants you to build a corporate rounded something than you would ever make in building an application, unless you build like this new app that changes everything. I'm sure that I'm wrong, that there's a lot of people that did succeed, but I haven't met one of them yet personally. So, it's kind of that's what leads me to this thought process that like, for me to build an application all on my own, or for our users or anyone that's watching right now to build an application on their own and think that they're going to make a lot of money out of it is not very realistic, unless they have like the best idea in the world, and they probably need some sort of corporate sponsorship. Would you guys agree to that, or do you think that there's
Um,
room to make money on apps today? What are your
I
thoughts,
think
James?
if you, I think if you looked at,
okay.
I think if you looked at it, you'd find that the vast majority of apps released have made precious little for the people that invested time into them. Um, Not saying it shouldn't be done, uh, but the, the problem is you're talking about a business proposition. One thing I've learned over the years is that business propositions tend to work better if you've got somebody actually watching the business model, doing the investment of money. You need a team. Team-built products tend
Yep.
to always kind of rise to the top of the pile, just because they're so much more complete. There's so much more to them because they've had, much more money and thought and time ploughed into them, much more
Right.
than one person ever could. Um,
Absolutely.
and that's who you're up against if you're trying to develop something independently. And you go and look at an app store, you want an app for looking at stars, there's 10, 15 other things. One of them is going to be the best, and one of them is going to have a lot more time and money put into it than certainly someone like me would be able to put in a few months.
Absolutely, I agree. I agree. Let's see, we have a few thoughts here on our chat. I think if we are able to make an app that works on Android on all screen resolution and also on iOS, little efforts, and I think we can make some amount of money. Well, it's good to be optimistic, but I think, but to be honest, like being real, if you have a really great idea and it's designed nicely, mainly games, I think games are really Or it's probably you could probably make money still, even if you're like build an application for your MTA or whatever. Something that people actually really need that application doesn't exist yet. If the application already exists, it's much harder to compete. But if you really have an original idea, obviously there's still room to make money. It's only a rougher challenge than it was a year ago when this whole new ecosystem was really new, or 2 years ago.